November 5, X-Ray Tango Charlie.
Okay, November 5, X-Ray Tango Charlie. Let me get this in the log. This is W3NA. Let's see here. And my name is John, Juliet Oscar November. Oh, whoops. Juliet Oscar Hotel November. And I'm located in the state of Maine, Mike Echo. And I don't know what your signal strength is because I was too busy looking at the computer. So N5 X-Ray Tango, I believe it's C on the N for Charlie. This is Whiskey 3 November America.
Roger, got the call right. November 5, X-Ray Tango Charlie. You're 59 here in the South Texas on the border of Mexico. Very strong signal with excellent modulation there. I saw you were from Maine, so I thought I'd yell at you. It's one of the rarer states. I think it's one of the 5 I need for QRZ, but I don't usually chase that around. But when I hear Maine on there and you live in such an interesting place, I thought I'd yell at you. This is N5XTC.
Okay, and what's your name?
The name is Scott, Sierra, Charlie, Oscar, Tango, and the QTH is Brownsville, Texas, right on the southern tip of Mexico, about less than a mile from the border. Over.
Okay, Scott, very good. Yeah, I know where Brownsville, Texas is, at least roughly where it is. I used to work for a company that had a little plant in Brownsville and a plant in Matamoros, Mexico, right across the border. So I have some idea where it is. It's good to hear your signal. You're about a 5.7. I took a look at the S-meter this time, and the conditions seem to be changing relatively quickly. I was talking with Bob, K5 BTS, who was in Mobile, and he was real strong and disappeared, so hopefully that won't happen here. I'm running about 200 watts with a TBX 5000 running 200 watts there, Chris. Go ahead.
Roger, I switched over to my other radio that has the G5RV on it. How does the signal strength differ there, over?
I'd say, Scott, the signal strength is worse. Go back to the original one. Let's see how it sounds.
Okay, now I'm back to, let me turn the speaker off. I'm back to the original one, and this one's running into a double bazooka 10 meter, only up at about 15 feet, but everyone gives me a better signal report on it.
Well, I'll join that crowd and give you a better signal report. I'd say it's at least 1 S unit better.
Yeah, Roger, I range from 1 to 2 S units, so I'm kind of stuck with this. It's not even strung very high. I just threw it out in the tree out in front of the yard there, and as high as up I can get it with the RF cable I had. So if I get it up there a lot higher, I'm sure it'll do better there. You say you're near Kennebunkport there, huh? That's a historical area, to say the least.
Oh, yeah, we're pretty close to Kennebunkport. I'm actually in the town of Kennebunk. But if I get in the car and drive about a mile, I'll drive into the town of Kennebunkport. So we're kind of between the downtown area. It's a very small downtown, but I think there's 1 or 2 traffic lights downtown in Kennebunk, and there are no traffic lights downtown in Kennebunkport. I had to think about that for a minute. So we're about midway between those 2 metropolitan, very small, I should say, town areas. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, there. I'm looking it up on the map. I've been to some part of Maine, but definitely not there. I would imagine you get a pretty long winter there, or am I misunderstanding that?
Oh, I'd say last winter was too long, to tell you the truth. And this winter, I don't know. It feels like it's kind of started. It's been 33 degrees the last 2 mornings when I got up here. And right now, it looks like it's about 60, maybe 62 degrees. It's a beautiful day. The sun is out. At least the sun was out. Now it's looking out a little bit cloudy, but all the trees have changed colors except the oaks. They're getting ready to change. And so definitely we have our firewood ready, and even our firewood for the winter after this is stored. We like to keep a year ahead on that. Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, I don't blame you. I live down here where there's literally no change of seasons. in the winter, what they call winter, we get some cold fronts that come through now and then they leave, and that's about all the winter we get. There's really not a winter season, and 20 years in the heat, you get a little tired of it, you know, so sometimes I'm wishing for something different there. Over.
Well, I think if you came up one weekend in the snow, that would probably take care of your need to get away from the heat for a while. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, I grew up in Ohio there, and I despised that winter weather, and I swore I'd get out of there. I think it took me 29 years to get out of there. And I don't wish to go back to it, but I'd like to find something kind of middle of the road there, but they call that San Diego, and the cost of living is nuts. Over.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems. The areas that are more moderate are very expensive places to live. Where were you born in Ohio?
Yeah, I try to keep that low key, but I was born there, but I always said I was going to get out of there. I haven't been back there in 16 years, and all my family's back there, so whenever I head out on vacation now, I head west. I love it out west. Over.
I got you on that. Whereabouts in Ohio?
Right near Cleveland, about 30 miles east of Cleveland, a little town called Menor. Another little town there called Willowick, right on the lake Erie there.
Yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with that area. I was born in Columbus, and I lived there for the first 20-some years. And then I got a job after college. I got a job in Cincinnati for a couple years. And then I moved right to Maine, and that was 40 years ago, 40 years ago, Scott. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, I have family down there in Columbus, like on my cousin's side, and I used to go down there. It's a little better down there than I think it is in Cleveland. Even better yet there in Cincinnati, I guess. Do you go back there much at all?
Well, you know, since my parents have passed away, I still have an aunt who lives there. But I'm an only child, but my cousins have moved all over. One cousin is out west on the west coast. My two sons are on the west coast now. I just did get back from a trip to visit with them about a month or two ago, and that was very nice. So one was in Seattle, and the days I was there were beautiful, beautiful weather, and I guess that's not always the way it is in Seattle, but my other son lives in California near San Francisco, and it was very, very nice there too. I can see why people are attracted to the West Coast, but both places are pretty pricey, cost of living wise. It's not exactly cheap here either, compared to Columbus at least. N5XTC W3NA.
Yeah, Roger, my favorite city probably is San Francisco. If I really had a place to... Of course, you say that, you know, you visited a few times, and they say, boy, I could live there, but, you know, once you get there, I wonder about that. That's probably where I would move, though. Although I think that big city stuff would get old after a while, and I'd need to get out of there. But what a beautiful place, and all the culture there is just incredible. Over.
Exactly. That's why my son likes it. He lives in a smaller suburb called Alameda, and it's its own island, actually. It's very close to Oakland. And right now he's a civil engineer, and it's nice because he works in different places for a couple years at a time, and trying to find the perfect place to live. He started here on the East Coast, and then he went to the state of Washington for a while. Thought that was a little bit too gloomy.